Good morning. Yesterday I talked about why and how important it is to understand what motivates you emotionally. When you understand what motivates you emotionally, you're able to get through tougher times. Now, as soon as I turned the camera off, I thought to myself, that's kind of unfair. I gave you kind of, go out and find this, and I gave you a little bit of a tip here with the book behind my back, but legitimately I went, you know what, I've got to give more help than this. So today what I want to do this morning is I want to give you a process that I followed when I was first figuring this out for myself. If you follow this process, you're not necessarily going to figure out the first time, because I was emotionally stunted is maybe the correct word at the time, and so it took me a little bit longer. I had to go through this process multiple times. Having said that, this is a foolproof process. If you're willing to go through these steps over and over again, and you've got to go over it a number of times, for most people, then you're going to figure it out. So this is the process. This is all I want you to do. Think about what you're doing right now, or think about your goals, any goal that you have, and simply ask yourself, why? Why do I want this? Now, the first 2 or 3 times you ask yourself this question, you're not going to get really, really deep information. Usually it's the 3rd or 4th or 5th question time you ask yourself where you get the good information. But I'll give you an example. I've worked with a lot of real estate investors or a lot of small business owners, and I say, why are you doing business? Why are you doing real estate? And the answer that most people give me is, I want freedom. I want to make money so that I can have freedom. So I say, okay, so you want money? They say, yep. You want freedom? Yep. I say, why do you want that freedom? And typically the second answer that they go to is they say, oh, for my family. I want to have freedom for my family. And I go, okay, so why do you want that freedom for your family? So I ask the why again. I consistently ask this why until we go a little bit deeper. And then they go, and this is usually where they pause. Because money, freedom, family, those are the easy answers. Those are the answers that most people give. I'm going to give you a secret tip. It's not about money. It's not about freedom. It's not about your family. Those are not the reasons that truly motivate people. What truly motivates most people is usually something from our past. It doesn't have to necessarily be childhood, but usually it's something from our past. Something that we heard, something that was said, a place where we failed or succeeded, and that's what motivates us. If you look at really successful people, super successful people, I'm talking about, like, I usually have Warren Buffett's book up here. I've had it for the last couple of weeks, videos. But legitimately, like, you look at Warren Buffett and you look at Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and who else I'm thinking about? Henry Ford, people who have done a significant amount in their lives. Phil Knight. What often happens with these people, if you dig down a little bit deeper, you find out that they were usually had an issue with a parent. And legitimately proving that parent that they were more capable than they were given credit for is often a very strong motivator for success. I was working with a corporate client just lately, and they're having some struggles with their company. But again, this person, as I got to know the leader of this company a little bit, I found out that, oh wow, they've got parents that really struggle with some things. And so this guy's kind of proving things to those parents. Now, what most people do with this, when I talk with them, is they go, oh, that's not a good enough reason. I want a pure reason. I want to save the planet or save dolphins or something. That's what I want my why to be. Here's the secret. Your why is never about other people. It's not about your family. It's about you. And you've got to figure out what motivates you emotionally. Why do you do what you do? And often it is, I want to prove this person wrong, or I want to prove this to myself, or I want to stop feeling inadequate, or I want to have I've always felt less than people, so I want to feel like I've got something to offer. Those are the things that truly motivate most people. So I want you to ask yourself questions until you get a little bit deeper. I remember the first time I figured this out, and I was weeping in my office. I think about this little home office that I was in, and I was weeping as I was thinking about this and thinking about why I do what I do and what motivates me. Now, once you've asked yourself this series of questions 3, 4, 5, 6 times, however long it takes, then what I want you to ask yourself is, okay, so if I achieved this, what would it do for other people around me? Still go to other people. We are motivated somewhat by other people. So ask yourself, what would this do for other people? How would they feel? How would I feel as I'm helping people with this? As you get to the emotion, stick with the emotion. The emotional part of your brain is what motivates you. The emotional part of the brain is what makes decisions for you, or why you make decisions. So get in touch with that, understand that. Don't be as emotionally stunted as I was when I first started off. And what will happen is, instead of emotions getting in your way, they will actually give you freedom. And you will be able to freely go, I want to explore this in my life, and I want to be the best at this, or I want to do this really well. And that will give you freedom to, again, overcome those hurdles, to do things that are maybe difficult, because you've got something else that's motivating you. I've always asked people, people say, oh, I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough time, or I don't have whatever, I don't have the resources. And I say to them, that's not true ever. It's never that we don't have enough resources. If your kid was dying, or if something was drastic was happening in your life, and you could do something to help them, and it took more money, or more time, or more energy, or more resources, you would find that. The motivation needs to be strong enough. Once the motivation is strong enough, we do the things that we need to do. So think about this a little bit, do this exercise, ask yourself why, go deeper over and over again, or find somebody else, pay somebody to do it, figure this out for yourself. But once you've asked yourself that a number of times, gotten deeper, relate it to how it affects other people and how that affects you and how you're going to feel about that. Enjoy this process. This is a difficult thing, legitimately a little bit difficult. Even though it's fairly simple, it's fairly difficult. Practice it, learn it, grow in this. Become someone who understands what motivates you, and you're going to get far more done today as well as this year.